Stampers! Today we're going to be making this little birthday card, and it's an interactive card, and I'll show you how to do it. It's so cute, and it actually looks like the car is moving, and there's a little sentiment inside, and it just says, driving by with a birthday high. So I'll show you how to make the little mechanism. I won't spend a lot of time on actually coloring this in and everything, but we'll get started. So we're going to take a piece of 6x6 Whisper White cardstock. And I went ahead and just scored it in the center at 3 inches and folded that down. So that's going to be our base card. And then you're also going to take a piece of 6x3 paper. And you're not going to fold this or anything. This is actually going to be our top layer that we'll be punching the windows out of. And then there's one other piece of Whisper White cardstock. And this is cut at about 2 inches by 6.5 inches long. So this is a little bit longer because we're going to actually keep a tail on it so that we can pull this mechanism in and out. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our little 6x3 piece of cardstock, and we're going to go ahead and mark the center of that, which would be 3 inches. So I'm just going to do a little dot right here and mark the center with a pencil. And then we're going to go ahead and use our punch, which is the square punch, which is the 1 3/8 square punch. And you're going to take that. Now this is the old style, but the new style also has a little centering mark on it. So it has a center on the side, a center on the front, so that way you know when you're in the middle. And we're going to go ahead and just punch a hole in the center of this card. So you're going to line up that little pencil mark and go ahead and punch in your square. Make sure your paper's all the way down and secure. Then for your next little square, you're going to go ahead and line up the edge of that paper along the edge of the punch. Make sure again the paper is down and secure, and you're going to punch that out. Then for your next one, you're going to do the same thing. Just make sure your paper is down and secure. The edge of the paper is lined up with the edge of the punch. You can see it right there. And then punch that down again. And that's how you get your little windows, okay? And they're pretty close. They may be slightly off, but it's not going to make any difference in the look of the card at all. All right, so the next thing that you're going to do is we're going to go ahead and brayer this and kind of give it that woody, old-fashioned look, which I just love. So we're going to be using something called crumb cake and our brayer. And if you're not familiar with a brayer, this is what a brayer looks like. It's a little rubber roller here. And we're going to go ahead and ink that up real good with our crumb cake stamp pad. And this is a little bit messy, but it's, oh God, it's so much fun. And you're just going to go ahead and start inking up that piece of cardstock. And you're going to start from one end and go to the other. And just keep doing this until you get the color that you like. And I'm going to start again at the end and just kind of keep on rolling. And we're just going to keep doing this until, like I said, we get the color that we want to achieve. Probably going to go just a little bit darker on one side than the other. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take a little bit of chocolate chip and basically use our brayer again. And when you use your brayer, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure that you're turning it down like that so you don't get a flat part on your brayer. And then you're going to use some chocolate chip, and we're just going to highlight the edges a little bit. And again, we'll just ink this up. And you start to see how you get a lot of nice dimension in here. And we're just going to, like I said, just do the edges. So we're going to do just a little bit more here along the edge. And again, do it to your liking. You know, if you want it darker or lighter, whatever, that's fine. So that's how you do the brayering. To clean this off, I'm just going to use my little glitter tray and just a couple of little baby wipes and just kind of do that. Or you can just rub it on your paper here and just clean it off. So it's very easy to use and really fun to use. So we'll get rid of that for now. Then we're also going to be doing something with this front of this little card. And we're going to be making a sentiment for it, which I've chosen the Happy Birthday sentiment. And this sentiment is from the Loads of Love accessories, as well as the truck is from the Loads of Love. This is the accessory kit for that. So we're going to be using the sentiment Happy Birthday. I'm just going to go ahead and take a piece of Whisper White cardstock and my chocolate chip ink and go ahead and get that stamped on here. There we go. And then we're also going to be doing the driving by with a little birthday high. And how I did that, it's in the center window of the card. I've taken the base card, put the window on top before I've actually applied it now, okay? But you're just going to line it up, put it right on top, and you're going to go ahead and stamp right in the center of that window, or whichever window you like. You might want it at the end, you might want it at the beginning, whatever you choose. And we'll go ahead and stamp it right in the center there. So that's pretty easy to do. You don't really need any technology to get that one done. So we've got all of our stamping done as far as that goes. Now we're going to go ahead and take that little sentiment and we're going to use the word window punch and punch that out. And it fits in there like perfectly. So that's our little Happy Birthday sentiment. And then I'm going to take the Modern Label punch and go ahead and punch out from Chocolate Chip the backing for this. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so that little part's done. So now we've got our sentiment with our backing. We'll go ahead and attach these together so we don't lose these little pieces here. I'm just using a little bit of snail to do that. There we go. So we've got that all finished up. Then the only thing I've used is a little library clip just to put that on as an accent. So that's a little mini library clip up on the top. So we've got that part done. So now all we needed to do was basically get our little truck stamped on here. Again, I used the Loads of Love and I used the pickup truck from that. So I've used StazOn ink, black StazOn ink, and I went ahead and stamped it on there, and then I just colored it in, and I'll give you all that information as far as the colors that I've used if you're interested. But I went ahead and did it ahead of time just so that I have one finished for you. Now this is actually on the piece of 6.5 inch by 2 inch paper. So we've got this all colored in and done, and it's ready to go. So now we're going to go ahead and punch a 1 1/4 inch circle. And we're just going to go ahead and fold this in half. And you can score it if you need to, but it's, you know, not that big of a deal. To attach this on the end, because this is going to be our pull tag, I'm going to go ahead and use some 3-in-1 glue. I like this glue a lot when I'm doing things that need that are going to be used, pulled, 3D objects, things like that. It just sticks very, very well. And we want this to really stay stuck on there because it's going to be manipulated and pulled. And especially if you give this to a child, which, oh my God, that would be so cute. Then, you know, they're going to be using it and playing with it a little bit. So we want to keep it fairly sturdy. So we'll go ahead and put this on. And I'll attach this to the edge of the card right in the center there. Then I'm going to make a little hole here to put a piece of ribbon through. And I'm using my Crop-A-Dile, the 3/16 inch side, and we're just going to put it right in the center there. And then I've got a small piece of chocolate chip taffeta ribbon. We'll just go ahead and tie that right through and do a little knot on the end, just so that they know that it does pull and that it's something that's interactive, because sometimes you just get the card and you look at it and it's cute, but you don't really know what it does. This just gives them a little heads up in case you're not there to explain it to them. We'll just kind of cut those edges off a little bit just to make it look a little nicer. And that's basically the inside of your card. So now the only thing we have to do is we're going to be attaching the window here. And we're going to go ahead and attach this so that the sticky strip is going to be right up to the edge of the top and bottom of this card. Try to keep it as close to the edge as possible because you want this to be able to manipulate through the center of the card. So I've already went ahead and attached it, and this is the 1/4 inch sticky strip, red line tape, tacky tape. It has different names. It's basically this kind of tape. It works awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and place that on the card and just try to get it as close to center as you can. The sticky strip is very, very sticky. It's very hard to come off again. So try to get it as close as you can and as perfect as you can the first time. So now you've got your hole here. What I found is I go ahead and bend this a little bit and make it a little bit pliable so that when you put this centerpiece in, it'll slide a little easier and go in a little bit easier. So you can go ahead and just kind of pull these up a little bit, make them a little more pliable. You know, just be careful not to pull too hard, but it's pretty easy to manipulate. So, and once that sticky strip is down, those bottom pieces are not coming off, believe me. So now that I've kind of loosened that up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and slip our little truck in. And you can see how that slides pretty easily back and forth. And you can see the little saying. The only other thing we have to do is attach our little happy birthday. And I've used a couple dimensionals to do that. You're going to want to put these just on the edge. Do not put them in the center because you do not want to go over your window. We're going to lay it, the edges, over the opening so that you have the opening not blocked by the little dimensionals. So that's how that's going to look. And the only additional things I've added, I've used a little bit of a, these are the punch pack itty bitty shapes, and I thought this kind of looked a little bit like exhaust. So I went ahead and I punched out a couple of these for the bottom of the card. And I went ahead and used a little bit of Sahara sand, colored them in a little bit. And actually, I'm going to just use my finger because they're so tiny. And you could do this with a brush if you needed to, but sometimes we don't have those things available, and we can just do it really quickly with little pieces. Anyways, and then I just added these on with a little bit of snail adhesive to make it kind of look like there's a little bit of exhaust coming out of the back of the car. And it just gives us a little bit more interest on the card. So that's basically the card. So that's the little exhaust right there. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And if not, I hope you enjoyed the card and have a wonderful day. And please check out my blog. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.